switch over to a movie that hasn't come out in theaters yet, but will come out in theaters pretty soon. And we've reviewed it in a pre-screening that we got. This movie's called Polite Society, and Vanchika actually went to the screening in New York. Vanchika, tell us about that.
I went for the pre-screening in New York, and the movie started off really well. I like the first half. Go watch it. Go watch it just to see the first half. Imagine if Kill Bill had like an Indian version. It's exactly that. It's two sisters overprotective about each other. They love each other, and the younger sister is like paranoid. Like, oh my god, like who is this random man? And my sister's marrying because arranged marriages are like that.
I love that
And she's
actor.
come
I love Ritu Arya. Did you see her in
both of
Red
them.
Notice with Ryan Reynolds? Oh my God,
Yes,
she's a cop in Red Notice. She is
she's
so good.
so good. Like they're both so good. Like it's a relief to watch like a good movie that you know you're supposed to like. Like when the movie opens up, just with their acting, with the kind of editing, all of that, we know that this is something that we're supposed to like. Like it doesn't matter if the story is good, the story is not good. We're supposed to like the film. And I think like that's why I really enjoyed the first half. The second half, I was like very let down, and I was like, oh my god, like it's okay, but like it kind of like gets you. So Polite Society. I don't know why they named it Polite Society. Society. They should have named it The Fury, because every time that the younger sister like claims that something is wrong, she goes to this like martial arts stunt situation, and since the beginning. You're shown how good she is at martial arts, but her aim is so bad. And that's kind of what this movie was going for. Like in the bigger picture, she was like really good at like being inquisitive and like trying to figure out what's wrong with them, but she missed her aim. The beauty of it is like at the end you can see that there's like a big like metaphor in the Indian society and what they expect and things like that, and it's supposed to be philosophical. I wish it wasn't, because it's a really fun film to watch. And honestly, I feel like this is one film that's like relatable to the younger crowd as well. Like the pre-teens or like the teens who are just growing up, like sixth grade, seventh grade, they can relate to the characters. They know what's going on, as well as like the older generation. They kind of relate to like the parents. They relate to the entire like concept of marriage and like what you're supposed to know. But I just wish that like the kind of energy that they built up and the kind of like comic timing to like the story that they had built up, it came down crashing. It turned into like a sci-fi. There was like weird stuff going on about like genetics and like this want of having a perfect baby. And like I understand it was planned metaphorically. They just couldn't execute it. They couldn't keep up with what they had built, the storyline that they had built. This could have turned out so well, but the climax and like why really the marriage was happening and like many things like that, it didn't cut it for me. It was
You
like
know, I'm a fan of Nida Mansoor because Mansoor, who actually directed this, wrote and directed actually. She's an amazing writer and director. Um, I've seen the episodes that she did for Doctor Who that were really really well done. But since you're saying that there was a little lax in part two, that's a big problem with a lot of storytelling, because the storytelling just gets into the deeper synthetics of the situation rather than keeping track, focus on what they're trying to say. So they lose their voice, and that we've seen in so many movies. Second half just destroys the entire sense. But what did you think about Priya Kansara?
amazing acting. She's young, she's naive, she embodies the character. And I think that's something that like Bollywood needs to embrace more, because they cast these like 25-year-olds in like the age of like 19-year-olds. You can't capture the naivety at 19. You haven't grown up, you're still growing up. That like even like physically how you look like. And I was very glad that Priya Kansara was doing this, because you could see the youth, you could see that she was going through the struggles in her personal life. And again, like I'm not sure if like she was actually going through like similar situations, but that kind of sentiment, that kind of rawness that can only come with that young age, Priya Kansara beautifully played out. It felt like she had written the role for herself. Like it didn't feel like she was acting.
Yeah, I completely, a couple of days ago, even Malala gave them a big shout out. She said something to the effect that she's happy because these are dynamite performances, and And of course, both, I mean, the martial arts and stunts in the movie being done by these two Indian girls, it's like, it's pretty cute. But tell me more about what was the feeling in terms of, do you think this is going to be a success when it releases in theaters on April 28th? What's
I
your feeling?
I think it will be a success because honestly, if never have I ever could be a success, this for sure will be. Because this is like a stereotypical, like deeper movie that carries a meaning and the meaning is relatable and all of that. And I think like it's politically very correct and like it knows what it's doing. So I think like it will do well. But if it like becomes like chart breaking or something, I'm gonna be disappointed. I'm gonna be disappointed in an audience that they couldn't tell like good from bad. But objectively, good, like beautiful attention to detail, to like what they're wearing, to like the kind of color scheme, the emotions and what they were wearing, and like if someone had to feel like a little bit like sadder, would be like a blue or like like that kind of tone. So the attention to like small details like that, excellently done. We love it. But like the crux, the main part of the storyline didn't come through. And I'm hoping that the audience can go ahead and like understand that and not just be carried away with like these auxiliary things.
And two cheers for another work on cellulite, which really can puts together the representation of Muslim girls and women in a very positive light. So, Polite Society, it will be in theaters April 20th. Go watch.